This hangout is on. Oh, we're live. Hello, everybody. Bam! What's going, guys? Back for another episode of Fresh Vinyl Live, episode 31, The Next Generation.
Whoa.
That's us.
Bam. All right, so you guys know who I am. I would like to introduce our cast for tonight. David Dobko is returning from Seattle, regular on the show, but we got some new blood. Goes by the name Chris. Say hello. Tell us who you are, what you're doing.
Hello, Chris Anastasis, out here in Warwick, New York.
Very good. I hope your sister's not around. Your dad's probably sweating his ass off at work, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Joey, go ahead. Take the floor.
Joey Wallace. We out here in Ohio, just messing around, goofing around, collecting toys. Pretty much about it.
That's good. That's pretty much about it. Louis.
Oh, hello. What's up, guys? Louis Duran. I know some of you guys know me, but it's whatever. Over here in the Cheese State, Milwaukee. Here at Mr. Fresh Vinyl's live stream.
Bam.
Should be fun.
It will be. It will be. Javante Franklin, he said he was going to try to jump on with us, so he might pop in. If he does, we'll just, we'll get him right into the mix of things. Just before we start digging into the show, the topics and everything, I've been wanting to do a show with you younger guys for a long time. I know we've talked about it here and there and whatnot, and it's just something that just haven't pulled the trigger on until now. You guys, yes, you are the next generation of fans coming up behind David and I and everybody else that's been doing this for as long as we have. We'll just leave the age out of it for the moment. But I think it's awesome, as we said this in our pre-show, you guys have, younger fans have this opportunity, these, I don't want to say advantages, or just with the internet, with the Facebook, with the YouTube, G-Fest, everything that we didn't really have when we were growing up with the hobby and everything. So I think it's important, to get you guys involved. You guys are involved. You've been involved. You're staying involved. But I think it's great that, we could, clash generations here and have the same fun because it's all the same stuff that we enjoy together. Right? Right.
Absolutely.
So just to give a rundown of the topics, what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to talk about how we got into the hobby, what our first Godzilla movie was, what got us into collecting, what else? What motivated us for those that have a YouTube channel, or David, your photography. What's our favorite Godzilla design, favorite movie, what our goals are, where do we see ourselves 5 years, from now? Are we still going to be into Godzilla? Are we still going to be doing what we're doing? What do we like to contribute? And then something David came up with a good topic is how do you younger guys feel about being involved in the hobby, and especially with a large following that has already been established before you, and vice versa. Like David and I will talk about how we feel interacting with younger and upcoming fans. And then at the end, we'll dig into the very hyped up topic of Godzilla King of the Monsters, the designs, the next trailer that's coming out, blah, 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 blah. So we'll talk about that in the second half of the show. Okay? Good.
All right.
So without further ado, let's dig into these topics. Joey, I'm going to let you take the mic first. I want you to tell us what got you into the hobby, and what got you into Godzilla, Kaiju, Tokusatsu, and what was your first movie?
Well, really, honestly, what got me into the hobby was this Imperial Godzilla. A lot of people have that in common, surprisingly. But I picked this up when I was about 2, or I guess you could say my father got it for me. But we were at a flea market, and obviously I thought, this is just a dinosaur or dragon or whatever I thought it was. And he picked it up for me. And ironically, the same day was the first day I met a cousin of mine. His name is Cody. And his father was heavy into Godzilla. So obviously his kid had to have all the latest Bandais. And this was around 2002. And the first set of Bandais that I got my hands on were the GMK 8-inch scale set. And went to his house. We played with those. And that's pretty much what kind of got me into Godzilla after that. It's just continuously hanging out with him, playing with his toys. Eventually, they would show me the movies, and, we had a blast doing that. Not exactly an amazing beginning, but we all start somewhere. Um,
Very cool.
my first movie is also my favorite movie, just because you got that nostalgia. It's really what started everything, and that's always been Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla '74. Um, Even being younger, I've always been a Showa boy. Absolutely love it. And anytime anyone asks me about my favorite, I instantly go straight to Mechagodzilla, just because I think the suit design's great, the human characters themselves are great. Fun kaiju. They kind of revamped it a little bit at the end of the Showa series. I guess you could say it was kind of falling off a little bit when you talk about things like Godzilla's Revenge or how they were gearing it more towards children. So I really like how that film was just made. And yeah,
Cool. Awesome.
pretty much that's it.
Sweet.
It all sounds very similar to a lot of our stories, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
They all kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
Lewis, what do you got for us?
Oh boy. All right. So what do you want me to really answer first? Like, what was the first ever Godzilla movie I ever watched?
Yeah. So what was your first movie? What got you into the hobby?
Right. All right. So, first ever Godzilla movie I ever watched. This is gonna tickle you, Rich. Godzilla 1998, the first American version of Godzilla. Yeah, I know. So, I watched that movie. That was the first ever Godzilla movie I watched because my dad showed me. Well, it wasn't. My dad didn't really show me. It was on TV. It just popped up on TV, right? So and then I started watching this. I was like, oh, this is really cool because I liked dinosaurs back then, right? I was always a big dinosaur fan when I was little, and I still am today. So I liked dinosaurs a lot, and I thought it was really cool to see like some dinosaur-looking creature running around a city, just destroying things or running away, and like destroying helicopters one by one, everything like that. But I didn't understand what really, because like I didn't know what Godzilla was, right? So like I didn't really understand what like the name was about. So a year or two later, I got my hands on like my first computer, right? And then this is what I searched up Godzilla on YouTube, and then I see this list of videos showing like Godzilla 1991, like music videos of Godzilla and stuff like that. And then I click on one of the videos, and one of the videos where I think it was a Godzilla We're All to Blame music video, and I watched that and I was like, whoa, what is all this? Like, it looks like a dinosaur, has spines and stuff like that. And then I went to Blockbuster one day. I don't know if you guys remember that store. That was my favorite place to go to get Godzilla movies. It was just that it always hits me when I just think of me getting movies from Blockbuster because I always ask my dad, "Hey, can we go rent this movie? I want to watch this Godzilla movie and all that." The first ever official Godzilla movie I've watched was Godzilla Final Wars. Now when I watched that, I looked at the back of the cover because the DVD it shows like Godzilla roaring into the sky. And it looks like a dragon. When I first saw it, I thought it was a dragon. But when I watched the movie, I like something like I had a feeling this was like I just loved the way it all looked when I was little. When I was watching with my own eyes. It looked like everything was like big, and it looked like it was miniatures. And I couldn't really explain what I was seeing like back then because I didn't know like what the hell was on the screen. But Godzilla Final Wars was the first Godzilla movie I ever watched. Um, and so when I looked up all these like videos of like on YouTube, Deadzilla was one of the guys I actually watched back then because he started like reviewing figures and stuff. And I clicked on his videos and I was like, they have figures of all this. They have toys. And so I was like, man, I wish I could get toys. And I always used to click to like each video, like where can you get them? So like I went to KB Toys. Luckily, I had a KB Toys near in my mall, and I was like, wow, I see like a burning Godzilla. I see like a well, I think they had like the first wave of Bandai creation stuff like Burning Godzilla and Space Godzilla. And when I had the money, or when my dad at least bought it for me, I went to not KB Toys, Kmart, and that's when I bought the Bandai creation Godzilla Final Wars. So that was my first ever Godzilla toy, and I still have it to this day, and I'm pretty happy that I do because that figure will always stay with me forever. Um, and my favorite Godzilla movie as a kid, like Godzilla versus Gigan, 1972. I always loved that movie as a kid because I kept watching it over and over again. When I rented it from Blockbuster, I always loved watching it over and over because like the human characters are great. The miniatures, they look goofy, but they still look cool. Like that's why we love Godzilla, because some of the miniatures and stuff and the effects, they look goofy. And then like especially the show era, but like that's why we love them, because they're all cool and stuff. And Godzilla's over here swinging his arms like really hard against monsters, and that's what we love to see. We just love to see monsters like that duking it out. And that's what a lot of people like about the show era, because a lot of monsters just duke it out one by one. We see random, creepy, weird-looking monsters like Gabra, but that's like, hey, I mean, that's part of Godzilla. So, pretty sure I just cleared everything up there. Yeah.
Right on. And I will add, I've spoken to a lot of Godzilla fans that the '98 Godzilla was their first film. And I won't rag on it. I mean, it's just personal opinion, but it was a gateway, that opened up many more doors, from that point, so it was kind of a gateway movie, I guess, because it was so mainstream at the time, Hollywood budget movie, I was living in New Jersey at the time, and I remember seeing buses and whatnot in New York City, billboards that were huge, so what really great way to get everybody's attention of Godzilla is, through that way. And then, it just like you said, it just took off from there.
Yeah.
Chris.
All right. Well, as a kid, I was in love with dinosaurs. I had a lot of dinosaur toys. My favorite dinosaur was a T-Rex. So when the time came around, my dad popped in my first Godzilla movie, which was King Kong vs. Godzilla. And my mom, I remember she's like, oh, he's going to get scared. He's not going to like it. He's like, nah, he's going to love it. So he puts it in. And, I don't really know what's happening. But when Godzilla pops out of the iceberg, I'm like, wow, what is this? I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then when he starts coming out of the ocean and all that, and his roar, it brings back so much memories. I connect with it because I thought Godzilla was a T-Rex. So I thought it was just like another dinosaur movie to watch, because I watched like The Land Before Time, Disney's dinosaur movie. So I watched all those, and I thought Godzilla was another dinosaur movie. So I was like, oh wow. And I'll never forget the part in King Kong vs. Godzilla where King Kong goes up Mount Fuji, and he goes down, he hides behind a little wall, and he looks up and you see his white eyes. Those scared the crap out of me. Like, I remember running behind the couch because I was terrified by the way he looked.
Shit.
And I just connected with it, and I loved it. And after that, I saw Ghidorah, Three-Headed Monster, which is honestly, between those two movies are probably my favorites, honestly. And then I got my first figure, which was the Anguirus from Final Wars at KB Toys. And just that's where it all started, and it just kicked off from there. Never stopped.
Awesome. Very cool.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. You're up.
Who, me?
No, the other David behind you.
All right, so listen, a lot of you guys know my story and all that, so I'll go through it real quick. But I just want to say that it's really encouraging and awesome, in my opinion, that all these guys love Showa movies so much. Their favorites are all Showa movies, and they have nostalgia and love for them like I do, which is great. It just warms my heart. I think that's fantastic. With all the the modern special effects and CGI and all that stuff, they're still digging the Showa movies. To me, that's just worth everything. I think that's great. So you guys are awesome. So so anyway, I've been in the game a really long time. My first Godzilla film was Monster Zero. Like all of you here, I loved dinosaurs when I was a little kid. And I guess my father thought it was a dinosaur movie because he circled it in the TV guide. You guys don't even know what that is. It was something that told you what was on TV. And these are the days before videos, before Blockbuster, before computers. So we had to wait until whenever, it could be a year, to see these movies again. And anyway, what I wanted to say is Monster Zero, he circled it, I watched it. I fell in love with it. I didn't even know what Godzilla, Rodan, or King Ghidorah were. And then just like Chris, my second film was King Kong versus Godzilla. And I didn't see the original 54 until a couple of years later. I then discovered Ultraman, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is kind of similar to the Godzilla movies. The sounds are kind of the same, and the explosions and kind of look similar. So I started my love for Ultraman 2 back then. And, it's also interesting that these guys, some of you said that you got a toy before you saw the movie. For me, it was only the movies. There were no toys. There was one toy when I was a kid. It was an Aurora Godzilla model kit. Actually looks like it was based on the Bullmark Godzilla. And that's all there really was for us to get back in the day, when I was a kid. So for me, it was all about the movies, and then the toys came way, 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 way later. I didn't start getting into the toys. The Bandais were my first toys, probably like the late 80s. And so that's pretty much, my favorite movie. It's kind of a close tie between Monster Zero and Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, because that's the golden age of Toho, where all things came together, and those movies are just always have a special place in my heart. And so Monster Zero and Mothra versus Godzilla are tied for first place, and then and that's it. So yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right, mine. Let's see. Like all of us, started off with loving dinosaurs. I think I had like jigsaw puzzles as a kid that I did that were like T-Rexes, Triceratops, you name it, dinosaurs were all over the place. I remember I had these little wooden like 3D puzzles, but models that you had to put together. They were like made out of almost like popsicle stick style wood. So I was probably 3-4 years old at the time I was doing these. And then I don't remember when I got my first Godzilla movie, but it was Godzilla vs. Megalon, my very first. As campy, as ridiculous as that movie is, I love it for all of it. From the tail drop kicks to just the hokiness of the WWF style tag team match that is the end of the film with Godzilla, Jaguar, Megalon, and Gigan. That was my first film. My first figure was the Imperial right here, and I love it. I have the 6-inch version somewhere around here. I don't know where at the moment. But this was my first.
What's up?
Yo, we'll circle back to. We're just going through how we got into the hobby, favorite movies, first movies and all that stuff. But Imperial was my first one, and like I said, the 6-inch Imperial was next. My next two movies was Son of Godzilla. Big sweet spot for that. I love the Godzilla movie. All the hokiness that it was as well. And then my third was Monster Zero. And I have a big sweet spot for that as well, because those, between Megalon, Son of Godzilla, and Monster Zero, those were my first 3 Godzilla films, the only ones that I had for a long time. So I watched them over and over again on this big thing called a VHS tape that you had to stick into a bigger thing called a VHS player.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. What's that? I love those films. Lewis, like you were saying earlier, you went to Blockbuster. I went to what we just called the video rental store before Blockbuster was even a thing.
Oh.
And, yeah, I remember walking into the store, looking around, and I came to the sci-fi section, and I saw a whole row of Godzilla movies, and I'm like, "There's more." I'm like, "Oh my god, there's more." There was Godzilla versus Gigan, Godzilla versus the Thing, Godzilla versus Frog Monster. All these titles, I'm like, I don't know anything about these, but here they are. And the funny thing is, I don't think I've ever really rented them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think most of the times I got my fix off of TNT's Monster Vision back with Joe Bob Briggs and whatnot. That was the first time I ever heard the Blue Oyster Cult Godzilla song.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I didn't meet Joe Bob before I passed. He's one of my favorites on TV, gotta say.
Oh, he was great. I loved it. and he still
Well,
does.
we had a thing in the East Coast in the late 70s, early 80s on Channel 9 WOR. Every Thanksgiving Day, they'd run a marathon of King Kong movies. They do King Kong, Son of Kong, and Mighty Joe Young. And then the next day, they'd have a Godzilla marathon on Friday. So that would be on Black Friday. I never went out on Black Friday. I stayed home and watched the marathon because I had to wait till next year to see it again, because there was no such thing as an amazing invention called a VCR back then. There was nothing.
My dad.
I used to use my father's tape recorder to tape record the sounds from the TV. That's how old school I am, because I wanted to hear it. So, of course, I'm going to know all the dialogue to King Kong versus Godzilla because I taped it and listened to it back. So anyway, on Thanksgiving time is very nostalgic for me to watch all the Kong movies, and then King Kong versus Godzilla, Son of Godzilla, or they kind of switched up the Godzilla movies every year, but it was always the three Kong movies. And a lot of people around my age who grew up on the East Coast would definitely remember these, and super special and awesome. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nope, you're good. You're good. That was pretty much my wrap about getting into the hobby. Kind of just took off from there. As far as the figures go, I didn't get any other figures until Treadmasters started doing their stuff in '94, and then I was like, ooh, now we have this stuff. And I remember one time being in Chinatown in Manhattan back in the late '90s. I don't know what the store was. I don't want to say it was Zaka, because Zaka was in the Village, was it not, David?
Well, Zaka was in Soho on Broome Street when it first opened, and then the store you're thinking of in Chinatown was called Waku Trading. It was on Mott Street in Chinatown, and every once in a while they'd have some really great Godzilla stuff, and because sometimes Chinatown had some knockoffs and this and that, but they had legit some Bandai, some model kits. They had a Kyoto kit. They had the old Heisei Godzilla banks. Do you guys remember those? There was like a bank of Godzilla and from '91 and King Ghidorah from '91. So they had that kind of stuff. But what Rich is alluding to is back in the day, we had no internet. We had no any resources to buy these things. So you had to get your ass out, go to the city. Hopefully you'd find something, and it was so much fun. I mean, I was lucky to be in the sort of New York area where there's a lot of stuff. But it was, you just had to get out there and look, and I love those days, because many times you came up empty-handed, but sometimes you duck into a shop. And you're like, hey, what's that in the window? And you just walk in there and grab it. But yeah, it's those days. It was a lot harder to start a collection. So, like we were saying, it's definitely a little more for you guys to get going nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, Javanti, tell us who you are and how you got into the hobby. What was your first Godzilla movie?
All right. Well, my name is Goji Franklin. I do YouTube, and I'm very active on Instagram and other social media sites. How I got into Godzilla, the game Godzilla Saved the Earth on the PlayStation 2. I was introduced to it back in 2005. I think, yeah, it was 2005 when my mom and my stepdad first got married, and I met my stepbrother for the first time. Like Lewis said earlier, how he was really into dinosaurs and stuff, and how you guys were really into dinosaurs. I was really into dinosaurs, and I had a bunch of dinosaur toys at the time, and I wanted to know if my brother had like some type of dinosaur game, and then he pulled out Godzilla Saved the Earth. I saw that opening scene for the first time. I lost it. I immediately fell in love with it, mastered the game. We spent hours unlocking all the characters, and that's when I was introduced to most of the kaiju at the time that I knew. I guess there were, what was it, like 18 characters in that game? I was introduced to everybody, and then later on, I think during the year, we went to a store. I don't know if anybody from Texas knows. Anybody in the audience is from Texas, but there's a store called HEB, and we went there, they had like a bunch of Godzilla movies. It was like 10 Godzilla movies. Godzilla Final Wars, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, Godzilla 1998, Godzilla 2000, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 1974, all of the older Showa movies, and we got all of them. And the first one I saw out of all of them was Godzilla Final Wars, and I watched every single one after that. Fell in love with it. My mom, she went to Toys R Us and got me, what was it, Godzilla 2004 from Bandai Creation. And then, you know, it just picked up after that. It became an addiction, became a hobby, started collecting, started doing my research, got on the internet. You know, I was really young at the time. I was 5, 6 years old, you know, but it was something that my heart was really, you know, like I was really into, you know, because my mom had never really seen me into anything like that before. You know? So and that's how here I am today with this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to keep the mic hot on you, Javante. The next topic or question that we're working with, because we already talked about what got us into the hobby, first movie got us collecting, is what inspires you about the Godzilla fandom? You know, the fandom, the hobby, you know, just what we enjoy. What inspires you about it?
I think the ability to learn from everybody, just like everything about Godzilla and Kaiju and Tokusatsu, because you know, in my time of being in this community, I've learned a lot from so many different people, especially you know my friends Louis and Joey and Chris. I've learned so much from them. Wait, hold on one more second.
Nice.
I've learned so much from them, and that's probably like the main thing that I really like is just learning and being able to connect with everybody on a good level. Because being where I was at the time, being, you know, moving all over the place, different states and cities all over the place, I never really had a friend to connect with about the hobby that I really liked. You know, never really had anybody to learn from besides my brother, but my brother was off doing a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, other crazy stuff. So I think, yeah, learning is the best thing.
All right. With that said, we'll make it like a double tap thing. What drove you to create a YouTube channel and create content?
You.
You can't say that.
All right. So really,
Couldn't be original.
shut up. Yeah. Well, watching other Godzilla YouTubers through when I was really young and just like it really set a fire inside of me to, you know, be like, you know, I can do this, you know what I'm saying? I have the ability to do this type of stuff, you know. It really motivates me to get out there and brainstorm ideas of what I wanted to do. Obviously, I was limited at the time because, you know, I was so young and, you know, intelligence level wasn't all there, but still, you learn as you go and, yeah, and you meet people like all of you guys, and then eventually finding out about GFUS in 2011, 2012, all this other stuff, and it really drives you to want to do this type of stuff, be more active in the community, and YouTube is one of the biggest platforms where the community is active.
Cool. All right. Joey, what inspires you and what drove you to create a YouTube channel?
I don't want this to sound too much like Javante's story or anything, but if I had to be honest, it's really just the people. And as toxic as it can be nowadays, especially with the internet involved and stuff, I still think the people are what really drives it home. Because if I ever, David mentioned earlier that sometimes you find yourself just not collecting or not as heavily into it as you once were. I find myself, you go to somewhere like G-Fest, and then I'll hop on and learn about something like bull marks, and that instantly fires me right back up. Just being able to learn more and having more knowledge about the hobby keeps me going. And I think that's probably the best thing about it is there's just so much to learn. And you can meet so many new people doing it and hear so many different perspectives and opinions. It's just a really great thing, especially, you know, us being born in this generation, having things like the internet or whatever else you need. It really helps you just branch out and meet different people. and I think that's a great thing. What
Absolutely.
inspired me to do things like YouTube? I've always kind of had my own little personality, and I don't have a problem being recorded or being live or doing anything. And not to sound cliche like a couple people in the chat and Lewis here, I've always been really heavy into film, and I want to work in film someday or work something in the arts. So, being able to put things out there, as dead as my channel is right now, being able to put content out, record myself, and do whatever I want freely, I just think it's a pretty amazing thing, and it's really fun and interesting what kind of things you could do with what we have nowadays. And yeah, that's pretty much where I stand on that.
Cool.
Nice.
Lewis, you're up. What inspires you about the hobby, and what motivates you to provide content via YouTube?
So I'm trying to really think here. So what inspired me to do my YouTube channel? As a little kid, like when I started collecting into Godzilla and I started loving this Godzilla stuff over the years, like around 2010 and 2011, I didn't have a YouTube channel at all. But what I did was I had like a camera, and every time I would just like go outside every other day, I would make little films, but I wouldn't upload it like any of the films because I didn't have a YouTube channel. I would record myself actually doing little films that were like really cringy, and like just you can hear like me making sound effects in the background for these Godzillas because my imagination said like, hey, make sounds for these Godzillas, because I'm sure we all did that here as a little kid, right? I mean, like we all made sound effects for our Godzilla figures.
Yep.
So like I guess
Yeah, like,
I never did. Never.
yeah, right.
I made a video called "I Do Roars."
yeah, I was gonna bring
There it is.
that.
Just kidding.
So like I used to do little like films, and I was hoping one day I could be like let's see, Deadzilla, because I used to watch his like projects he did back in the day, like in 2007 and 2000, like from 2007 2010. He used to do like toy battles and stuff, and I wish I could like I wish I did that at the time, but now like I'm producing like toy battles and stuff, and I'm trying to get like a lot more people involved with these like toy battles, especially like people from the community. I want to get Javante into one of my films one day, especially a live action one, and where I come down there and we can film a few things together. And same with Joey here. Like I guess Deadzilla is really my inspiration for doing my YouTube channel because I used to love his like toy battles and stuff like that. And the other question was, Rich?
You summed it up pretty much.
Right, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. Mr. Chris, you don't have a YouTube channel, and that's okay.
Well, I mean, I do. It's like one video of like my collection, but like
nobody probably cares.
yeah. But it never went anywhere just because I couldn't find the time, and I don't think I was gonna really stick with it. But like when I see you guys do stuff like that, it honestly motivates me to do it. And just the storage crap on my phone doesn't allow me to do so, which is all right. But what inspires me about the whole hobby, and it's a mix of things. The people that I meet every year, whether it be at G-Fest or on Instagram, whatever, it's just to hear people what they say about everything about the hobby. It's we could all connect, talk, and especially when I found out about G-Fest, it's like there's a whole other side to this hobby that I had no idea about that like even existed. Because my first convention was Chiller Theater back in 2013, 2014. The one at Takarada was at. And I had no idea. And like I was like, I know this guy. He's in the Godzilla movies that I love so much, and I didn't know they brought these guys out to these stuff, and I was blown away. And just to keep going to do meet all these guys, all the actors, actresses, suit actors, makes you want to keep going. and just talking to guys like you and how we share our experiences. And we talk about all the new stuff that's happening, all the stuff that we're collecting. It's like, oh, maybe I should get that too. It looks awesome, and it's just great. And,
Don't blame me if you get it though. I don't want Dad coming after me.
trust me, he's gonna do it anyway.
I know.
That's awesome.
But just I mean, the influence that we all have on each other, it's something else, and very blessed to have it.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
David.
So mine's a very simple answer. It's my friends that I've met through this crazy hobby. I mean, Rich, you were one of the very first people that I met through your videos. I love watching your videos, and we started buying and selling and chatting in the X Plus group when there was like, 15, 20 members in it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys, like the friends that I've made over the years, over the like 5 or 6 years, it's incredible. And I love that you guys are starting that up now too. Like, for example, like James, John, Kyle, Rich, just to name a very few, we speak to each other like weekly, if not daily, and we spend time not just doing Godzilla stuff too. Like we went to John's wedding in Tennessee last year. Rich, John, and Kyle went to Japan like in 2015. And we like one of my biggest thrills was seeing Rich Isso's face when he walked into Nakano Broadway and set foot in his first Mandarake. Like that was like it's all about the people, man. When I was little, it wasn't cool to like Godzilla. It was kind of like looked down on, and not many people did. Not even dinosaurs. It was kind of like nerdy and this and that. So you guys have it much better than I did in that respect too. But definitely the people, like these guys are awesome, and I hope we continue our friendship, and we've been to each other's homes and this and that, and when you get a little bit older and you start traveling more, you'll start visiting each other. Like somebody just said they want to go down and make a movie with your other buddy and this and that. But definitely the people, the community's great. There's a lot of nonsense that goes on, but there's a lot of good that comes of it too. Like Rich, I've been saying this for so long. He's been an ambassador to you guys and to the younger generation. I mean, the things that he does at G-Fest just blows me away. Like he never looks down on anybody new or has a question. He always takes time to take photos with people who watch his videos.
I can't look down on anybody.
I think that inspires me the most because he's taken the reins and introducing it to the next generation, which is incredible. So I don't have a YouTube channel either, but my contribution is shooting photos of all things Godzilla and toys and models and figures and that kind of stuff. And I love doing it, and I'll continue to do it. And as long as people like the photos, I'll keep on shooting them. So that's pretty much it for me. And I just look forward to many more years of this fun hobby. And yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
I can't really add too much to everything that you guys have already said. I have been doing the YouTube thing now for almost April 2019 will be 6 years, and I'm like, wow, it's already been 6 years. I thought I was only coming up with 5. But this kind of rolls right into a lot of the things you guys already said. I started the YouTube channel because I was like, I like filming. I like editing. If I could go back to being 18 again, I would maybe go to school for filmography or editing, whatever. I've always had a niche for being in front of the camera since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. Me and my brother Matt, we used to take my mom and dad's VHS recorder where you had to hold it on top of your shoulder. It looked like a boombox almost, and you put the VHS into the camera, put it on your shoulder. You have to look through a lens as you're walking around with it. So me and my brother would play with that. So I've always had a thing for film. If anybody's out there watching, if you dig through my channel and go all the way to the bottom, there's a couple videos that I did back in like 2007, 2008, way before I started any of this Godzilla stuff. But once I started collecting X+, I will credit Mr. Sam West. I did watch his videos, and he's kind of to blame what got me into X Plus, honestly. Watching Hal, thanks. But I watched his videos and I was like, man, it looks like a lot of fun, and of course I like talking about this stuff. So I was like, let me try my hand at doing reviews. And as we all know, it took off with the Godzilla 84 30 centimeter. That was a video that just kind of just took off.
Yeah.
But so that's the whole YouTube front. As far as the rest of the hobby goes, it's exactly like we're doing here right now. We're having fun. We're throwing ideas on the table, just enjoying what we have together. Doing that we've done at G Fest, hanging out in person, traveling across the world. These are not just friendships that that I know I'm just gonna have for a temporary period. These are lifelong friendships. Getting back to you guys, like David said, the younger generation, it's important to me because, like I said earlier, we didn't have this when I was a kid. There was none of this at my fingertips. So I think it's important to give back. My way of contributing to the hobby is just doing trying to do what we do at G Fest with Fresh Vinyl Live, the videos, and anything else that we do. Because I remember my first Godzilla convention. It was David, you and I talked about this earlier. It was in New York City, 1997, G-Con, as it was called, which was ran by the late John Rocco Roberto. There was some G-Fan drama that split with that, but whatever. Not a story to talk about right now. Anyway, but that was in 1997. I was a 14-year-old little pipsqueak at the time. Haru Nakajima and Ken Satsuma were both there, and I'm like, wow. I did not know what I was getting myself into. My buddy David Quigley, who lived in Jersey, only 10 minutes from me, him and his dad were going. He's like, yeah, you want to go? I'm like, sure. I went with, how much money I went to this convention with? I paid for a ticket to get in for the day, and $20. That's it. I'm walking around this dealer's room. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
And then I went like this. I'm like, nothing. Oh, wait, there's $1. No, just nothing. So little did I know there was another convention the following summer, 1998. And I told my parents about it. I wanted to go, blah, 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 blah. So like, yeah, we'll go. The whole family went. We made a whole thing out of it. But prior to that, I busted my ass cutting grass throughout my neighborhood because the convention was in August, so I had the whole cutting season to just stack up $20 bills from each lawn that I cut. So I went from having only one $20 bill for '97 to having about $400 cash the next convention, and I spent it all on Bandai figures. It was beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool right there.
Yeah, it was great. My brother and my sister were like, what is this? They didn't get it. They get it now only because I'm a dork. Yeah, so,
I mean, stories like that you share, that's like a whole another experience that we get to listen to and learn from, which is awesome.
yeah, I'm telling you, David and I, David more than I, but we can talk about just what we grew up with the hobby before Facebook, MySpace, before that stuff. We were even on the, David, I don't know if you were, but I know you've heard of it, the Monster Zero forums.
I never really got into it, the forums. No, I skipped that part of it. So I probably would have known you sooner if I did that.
Yep. I remember talking to Tim Crane, Mike Russo, Brandon Shields. Brian was on there,
I think Kyle was on there too, Rich.
Who?
I think Kyle was on there too.
Yeah, Kyle, so I kind of spoke to you guys before I knew you guys, so it was interesting. Even back on, what is it, Vinyl Madness, Gene's page. I remember going on Vinyl Madness, studying everything. I was like, this is my, my encyclopedia just via pictures. And then there were the Yahoo groups for Vinyl Madness. There was Barry's Temple of Godzilla. There was there was another one I can't remember the name of, but I went to these websites and just up and down looked them up. I remember reading what was supposed to be Godzilla versus Destroyer. Oh no, it was supposed to be Godzilla versus Ghost Godzilla, which was the working title for what was supposed to be Godzilla, became Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Yeah.
54 Ghost somehow came back, and Oxygen Destroyer, this, that, the other thing, whatever. So yeah, it was crazy back in the mid '90s, back when the internet kind of started doing its thing. But anyways, yeah, stories, we could just go on and on.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, let me just say one more thing. It's like someone who started as early as I did back in the early '70s. From that point to being at Toho Studios with you guys in Japan was just like, it just blows my mind that I feel so incredibly lucky to have been able to experience that. That's like the quintessential Godzilla experience is going to Toho Studios, right? And then even one step further, when I went to do Hail to the King documentary with Kyle, we sat down and interviewed some of the Showa Toho actors, including Takarada, Akira Kubo, Yuichiro Tsuchiya, and just to be in that room with them, it was just like, it just blew my mind. I'm like, I watched you so many times when I was a little kid, and now I'm sitting in your country listening to you talk about your contribution and how you remember those days. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that, that portion of Kyle's documentary is the best, because you get to hear them speak about their experiences making these movies. And like, I just still can't believe that happened to me. And that's why it's important to stay involved, stay passionate, stay positive. And, and I think it's great that you guys are the new generation coming up, because one great thing I can think of is you can come visit me in a nursing home and show me the new Godzilla movie. All right? Can you somebody do that? I mean, I want a promise of that right now. But anyway, I actually have to run. That's why I gave that little ending speech. So anyway, it was a pleasure to be on with you guys. And I can't wait to listen to the rest of the show. So Rich, thanks again for inviting me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming.
See you guys.
Yeah.
David.
Bye. Cheers.
The good work.
All right, now let's talk about Godzilla 2014. We got a couple more topics before we start digging into that. And I am looking forward to start talking about King of the Monsters stuff. But let's move along. Let's see. We talked about YouTube channel, blah, 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 blah. All right, so let's talk about what is our favorite. We already talked about favorite movies. So what is our favorite Godzilla design? So I'll go last. Chris, go shoot. I think I know what yours is. What's your favorite Godzilla? Favorite Godzilla?
Mine is all the way the 62.
Yep, do that. Okay.
Love it. He looks like a complete badass. It sucks he was only in one movie though, but I guess that just makes it better.
I was gonna say Wolfman.
There you go.
There it is.
Yep. Which is interesting about Godzilla versus Wolfman is that there was 2 suits used for that movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I heard it was like the actual thing. Like
it was a recreation of the 62 suit. Yeah, because
it's not the same. It's not as good as the original though.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, for what? For being recreated in
yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's like saying the Mega Gear suit isn't as good as the 2000 suit.
I mean, but besides that though, but yeah, he just looks like a complete badass, menacing looking and huge, and yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Goofy.
Oh, all right, Javante, yours.
Basically, everybody really knows this. It's the Final War suit, the Godzilla Final War suit. I like how slim and mean and agile he looks. When I think of Godzilla, that's what I picture in my head is the Final War suit, because he it's like a combination of all 3 eras: Millennium, Heisei, and Showa. He's got the smaller spines and tail of the Showa, but also like the mean look of the Millennium and the overall impression of the Heisei, big and the charcoal gray, black skin. He's like a combination of all of them. I really like that one.
Nice. I was over here trying to find my X Plus version, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. And it was like, I hate my collection sometimes because I can't find anything when I'm looking for it. Anyway,
What's
Joe,
the
favorite?
All right. No surprise at all, but I hate to break it to you, you've all been wrong so far. Best Godzilla suit ever created was the suit from 1974.
Debatable.
Everything about it to me is just great because he's goofy looking, but he's also just a complete badass at the same time. Saying it all just meshes really well together. I always loved just the kind of like boxery kind of style it was, big old goofy eyes, and he still
He had more of a look than the 73 too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Silver spines are great. Everything about it just really connects. And when I think Godzilla, for some reason, I always just think Up 74. That's classic. I love it to death. But if I had to pick if I had to pick another suit, because I'm just pretty biased about that, I'd have to go with GMK, just because overall the film was great, the suit was great in my opinion. I love that they kind of took it in a new direction and tried something new. I'm not a fan of when companies just do the same old thing just as a cash grab. So that suit and concept really hit home with me. And yeah, I love both of them to death. God tier.
Nice. Lewis, what do you got?
So enough with the City of the Edge of Battle anime designs. We're gonna go to Burning Godzilla. So every time Burning Gods every time Burning Godzilla would appear on the screen in Godzilla Final Wars, I know it's like Godzilla 1994 as well. Like they're kind of the same design and stuff. But the one thing I did like a little bit better on the Burning Godzilla suit was the spines. I like the overall look of them. But every time Burning Godzilla would appear on the screen, I always used to love when he appears on the screen. Like some sort of feeling told me like that's my favorite design right there, and I always loved Burning Godzilla, and I always will, because who doesn't like Burning Godzilla? I mean, the movie. Some people might say the movie's bad. Some people might say the movie's even great, but the design I think is one of the best. I believe, in my opinion, like it's one of the best. I always loved Burning Godzilla as a kid, so yeah, Burning Godzilla.
Awesome. I will add, I love Burning Godzilla design. It's not the same suit as the 94. Obviously, very similar.
Yeah.
Not.
I mean, I don't think it is.
I always thought that it was, and it just like painted over it or whatever.
I don't know. That whole suit had to be re-engineered for the whole burning effect. So
They have different dorsal spines.
yeah. Well, I love the design. As far as Godzilla versus Destroyer goes, I think the whole movie, with Godzilla's impending death is what you really just, I guess, just everything going and together. The Destroyer is badass anyway, but maybe we can make that a topic. But my favorite, I don't know what my favorite is. 64, obviously. He's right behind me, right there. There he is, the 64. Love the 64. He's just a badass looking. He's got those pissed off eyes rolled up into scowling eyebrows and everything. He's mean looking, like he's kind of like not taking any shit type of business. His ass handed to him from Opera and but, can't win them all, but he did give him a good fight. So 64 is my favorite. All right, let's see. Next topic. We already talked about. All right, so you guys, I guess you just make a simple question. Do you guys see yourself still in the hobby 5 years from now, and or continuing and still doing YouTube videos? Chris, well, all right, you got the one video on YouTube, but do you still see yourself involved in the hobby 5 years from now?
Definitely. I plan to have. I want to have my own room for just specifically put my figures and pictures up because I am running out of space. I'm trying to get my sister out of her room so I could take her room as my.
You got a basement?
Yeah, but like
just throw her shit in the basement.
Yeah.
Tell her the world is yours down here.
I know, yeah, it's perfect for her. But in 5 years, I want to do something cool that related to the hobby because I want to go into software engineering. And shout out to Jeremy Souls, Sama Kaiju, if he's watching this. Thank you very much. He's helping me a lot through this whole process. And I want to do something really cool with the hobby if I ever have the chance to. Yeah, definitely still in love with it in 5 years.
Cool. Cool. Lewis, what about you?
Hell yeah, of course. Like, I can't see myself not liking Godzilla anymore, not being a part of this amazing journey that I've been through since I was a little kid. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely love this hobby, like, from until I die, at least. But where I see myself in 5 years, I want to go to film school after, like, maybe take a year break from high school and all, but, like, I want to go to film school. And if I don't become, like, a film director, yeah, that sounds like whoa, man, like whoa. But if I ever do, that would be incredible, and I would try to push myself just to be there. And like I feel like a lot of the yeah, Gareth Edwards, Gareth Edwards did make a good movie, did make a good attempt, but I feel like Mike Daugherty knows how we were. Like, he's one of us, basically. You know, Mike Daugherty is making Godzilla King of the Monsters, and we'll get to that later. But he's one of us, and I kind of want to be where he is at today. Like, make a Godzilla movie that will like just be incredible, and make other movies too, other projects and stuff. But if I don't end up being a film director, I want to be at least part of that film industry, part of the arts, like making at least marketing for movies or trailers or short little teasers and this and that. But definitely, yeah, film school is where I want to be, and I feel like in 5 years, it's gonna take a while. It takes time for all that stuff, but yeah, there you go.
Cool. Practice makes perfect.
Oh yeah.
Joey, what about you?
In 5 years' time, I will absolutely still be in this hobby, and I want to try to put myself out there just a little more. I'm going to really try and stick to YouTube and just, start doing my own thing. I mean, I built a giant computer just for YouTube, just so I can edit videos and stuff like that. But I don't see myself collecting a whole lot or buying a lot more. Now, up until this point, I've been absolutely insane and just buying whatever, wherever, no matter how much. I never cared. I would just buy. But my girlfriend and I are saving for a house right now. So for these next hopefully I'll have a home within the next 3 to 4 years.
You're homeless right now?
A lot of my money is going towards that. But, I'll still be in the community. I'll still try to have some sort of a presence involved with people. And I'll still be collecting, but nowhere near as heavily as I have been.
Yeah. Priority's got to take, priority at some point, If you have the means to do it, then you can. If not, then hey.
Yeah.
Work hard first, then play hard.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I remember you sold a bunch of your X Plus. You bought your car. Still have the same car?
Kind of. I sold about 10 X Plus figures. I pretty much sold them and then got my stock back.
Yeah.
But I sold them. I went and purchased the vehicle, and I loved it. But I landed a different job where I was making a lot more than I should be making right now. Not to brag or anything, just in general.
Right.
And I kind of passed that vehicle down to my younger sibling who needed a car. He had no money, and my dad didn't want to go out and buy another vehicle because, we have like 6 people in this house. So I kind of gave it to my brother and then went out and purchased kind of the same vehicle, but it's more of an upgrade, modern version of it. So that's where that car went. It's still in the driveway, and I'm very thankful for it. I missed the figures, but it happens.
That's cool. No, that's a good story. Very generous, noble of you. You're prioritizing what your responsibilities are. Toys come and go, but roof over your head, you got to be able to get to work, got to make money to have nice things. So
yeah,
good on you. Especially if all these, that's the mentality you all have. That's the way to do it.
My friends actually used to tease me a lot because I thought I would never get anywhere just because I would blow all of my money on figures.
And where's your friend at now?
Well, doing nothing, actually. He's not even in school.
Exactly.
There it is.
Yeah.
Case, I'll check, please. I'll have my Javante, what do you see yourself doing with the hobby in 5 years?
5 years. Let's see, how old will I be in 5 years? 23? 20? Yeah. So my plan, I want to put myself out there even more in the community. I want to be even more active. Obviously, yes, I will definitely be collecting more and more. Like Chris said, I want to have my own room full of, Godzilla figures and merchandise and pictures and all that. I want to have that. Definitely want to continue doing YouTube and travel to Tokyo with my friends, with my buddies, Chris and Joey and Lewis and all of them. I want to do that type of stuff. As far as career wise, some people know this. I really want to be in the NBA because I'm really big on basketball and stuff like that. If that was to happen, I would still be big in the. I would still, put myself out here in this community. I would never leave the community. Obviously, if I was to get into the NBA, but second option would be like study zoology, become a zoologist, and all that. And obviously, it still does not make me leave the community and stuff like that. I want to stay in this community. As long as I live, I want to still collect Godzilla figures and talk about Godzilla with you guys.
Funny thing is, most people here are talking about their Godzilla room and how they want one. Rayanne, my significant other, and I have actually already discussed this, and the home we will be buying absolutely has to be 3-bedroom because she's actually gotten into collecting herself, and she actually has a lot of pieces that I'm completely jealous of. And we're dedicating one room just solely to our collections, and we're going to merge them. And
better be a big room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's getting the master bedroom treatment.
Yeah, I call sleeping in the closet.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, that's positive thinking. That's good, and especially being that you're both on the same page. It's very important. 5 years from now, oh God, now you got me thinking about the whole age thing. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be turning 40. Scary.
Damn.
Let me just say, let's say if I got asked this question 5 years ago, maybe.
Oh man.
I guess when I started with the YouTube videos, where I guess I would have wanted to be is where I'm at now. I wanted to make an impact for the hobby, make an impression, contribute, be a part of something bigger, and bring people along the ride. Getting involved in G-Fest was definitely a priority. So I remember the first panel I did at G-Fest, it wasn't Fresh Line Alive, it was a Godzilla Collectors Group panel with the admins from the Godzilla Collectors Group on Facebook. And I had a lot of fun with that. I was kind of nervous, I think it was my first time being in front of people actually discussing toys and whatnot. And then I decided, all right, next year I want to do Fresh Line Alive. And that was 2015, so we did 15, 16, 17, 18. So we've been 4 years G-Fest, Fresh Line Alive, 3 years with the What You Bought in the Dealer's Room videos, and that's been fun. That video's getting longer. Why? Because we're getting involved. Great. Actually, I'm going to say this now. If we didn't talk about it already at some other point or at G-Fest, I got to try to get a panel spot on, for the show, because last year with the Artist Alley getting kicked downstairs, that took our spot, so we were forced out onto the patio, and it was kind of raining. So I'm like, that's not good for anybody who's got figures with paper or anything, tags, boxes. So I got to try to I need to get a spot inside, because with the amount of people, it took literally almost an hour to go through everybody that was, that was a part of it. And I have a lot of fun doing that. I think it's great, no different than this is, or doing, videos with people, just to put you guys on a spotlight, or involved with it in a bigger fashion. And that was my ultimate goal when I started doing videos, is just to give back and contribute in some form of fashion while having fun, and me doing my silly ass reviews or silly things that I do when I do them or whatever. So in 5 years from now, I guess I still want to keep doing this. I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to end up like Steve Carell, 4-year-old. I mean, that's not entirely the case, thank God. But who knows? I don't know. we'll just see what happens. I don't want to think about 5 years from now, honestly, but
We got a long way to go.
I know, yeah. I can't believe it's been 3 years. So
2 weeks. Shit. Anyway, all right. So that wrapped up most of our topics for just what we've been doing, what we've done, where we want to go. So we're going to move on to talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Ooh.
Topic. I don't know. I'm gonna go first because
Yeah, go ahead.
like holy shit.
Holy shit is right.
Because the train for this movie just keeps exceeding itself, and it's kind of scary because it better deliver, like what I'm thinking, because they're building up so much hype that when the movie comes out, we're either going to be like, oh man, it was just all, hype, or we're going to be mind blown by what we're going to see happen on the screen. The first trailer blew my freaking mind. I remember watching it on my phone. The music gave me goosebumps, kind of like it just did right now, just thinking about it. Watching Godzilla come out of the ocean, I noticed dorsal plates right then and there.
Yeah.
And, just as far as the trailer goes, the trailer was amazing. I wasn't really too keen, fond of the narration by the lead actress. I think Vera, I can't pronounce her name. She's calling them the Titans. I'm like, the Titans.
The Titans, yeah. I wasn't really too keen on that word.
Yeah.
I think there was something to do with
I don't mind it.
or something like that, because I don't think they would have immediately went straight to Titans. It's gonna have to grow on me, but I think there's some legal issue with that and why they couldn't use other words.
I don't mind it though.
I think more because they're using Titans as to whatever ancient species lived on Earth before, whatever race was there, they dubbed them the Titans. I think that's maybe the route we're going. But so the reveal of the SH Monster Arts figures gave us our first real good look at all of the monsters. We'll start off with Godzilla first, and then we'll work our way down the line on what we thought about. Godzilla first. I love the new dorsal plates. I think that's a wise and needed improvement over the original design of Godzilla. Like I said, when I saw him come out of the ocean in the first trailer, I instantly recognized the 54 style dorsal plates there. I'm like, oh my god, like they are freaking awesome, legendary for tweaking this. And if anybody's wondering, I always say this because it's fact, it's true. The reason his dorsal plates changed is because Godzilla's a mutation, so he's mutating, and he's probably juiced up with more nuclear radiation, so his body is just doing more mutating. But anyway, as far as the design goes, when we saw the SH Monster Arts figure, I thought it was great that the whole center row is almost nearly identical to that of the 54 design. Not perfect, identical, but very, very reminiscent of the 54 center dorsal plates. So that looks freaking awesome. They extended the toes. Great. The feet, big freaking deal. I'm honestly tired of talking about feet. And it wasn't until 2014 that people gave shit about feet on Kaiju. With the feet.
People just find anything.
Yeah, feet. Rodan looks awesome. I think that it's a little bit of Heisei and a little bit of 56 style Rodan. He definitely's got more of a show of vibe to him, I think.
Yeah, he does.
Mothra, I guess I'm starting to let other people's opinions get in my head, but overall, my first impression was I love it. I have a theory. I'm just thinking out loud that I think maybe would one of these Monarch, or maybe there's another group, maybe they created Mothra out of testing on Mudo DNA, maybe.
I think I know where you got that from.
That would be cool, actually.
I don't know. I didn't read. I don't know. I didn't read it anywhere else.
That's my first time hearing it, actually. But it kind of, I can see how they they could do that, you know, with the Mothra Easter egg in 2014 and all that.
Yeah, but if you look at the design of Mothra, her back legs and her pincers are very similar to how the male Muto is proportioned. As far as, I mean, not so much the wings or the coloring or anything, but the front arms of Mothra and her back legs look like a male Muto.
Yeah.
Mothra was in what looked to be a laboratory setup, you know, a giant laboratory setup. You know, so maybe
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just theorizing.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
Approach.
And then there was that clip that was revealed, I guess, at the Tokyo Comic Con of what appears to be a Muto head in some laboratory, or in Ghidorah's head, or is it Mothra larva? I don't know. We'll find out. I couldn't tell just from that one clip. So overall, I think Mothra looks good. Legendary has been posting videos. I think you guys have posted them on your Instagram accounts of flying over and what appears its roar. Mothra opening her wings up and hearing her roar. Very high pitch. Used to. I think it will work. You know, when we see it all put together. I think I left a comment on one of your Instagram pages. Go, Giovanni. I think I left it on yours. So I'm down with the designs. Now, as far as King Ghidorah goes,
oh boy, that's
the big one. That's the big one.
I am thoroughly impressed with the design. It's pretty much what I was hoping, yet expecting. I did not think they were going to keep it as true to what we are accustomed to. You know, golden. The horns and everything look beautiful. You know, I mean, he looks like King Ghidorah, and I think that's great.
Kept the overall impression.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I know there was some speculation that he was going to be kind of like crawling like that. Is maybe a possibility? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not crazy about that.
I don't have a problem with that. I think they would look pretty cool if he did do that. But at the same time, it's like whatever, you know, if it doesn't happen.
If I saw him crawling, it would just take away from what he actually was. I mean, because the design captures the whole essence of like what he is.
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm down with the designs. I'm excited to see them in action. You know, as far as maybe if there's whatever the other next trailer shows us.
Sunday.
Just really, really pumped for this movie. Way more than I was for the first 2014 film.
Right.
And there is something going around the internet now that looks like it's coming from Godzilla King of the Monsters Facebook page about Biollante being in the film, but I'm pretty sure that it's all photoshopped fake pictures.
I think, I saw that too. I know what you're talking about. I saw that earlier today, and I was like, the first image looked legit, but then I went to the Biollante, and I was like, yeah, that looks photoshopped. It doesn't look real.
I was waiting to bring that up because as psyched as I am for a new movie like this, I'm on the seat of like, I like to see new things. And yes, the designs look great. And this is like absolutely a hyped up film for me. I think it's very well, but I wish they would stop regurgitating the same thing over and over again. Because eventually it'll get redundant. Which, a lot of people hated Muto, which I don't think it's the best kaiju design in the world, but I still think I give him E for effort for trying something new in the world. And when I heard I about died. Because if it was real, that would have been insane to see something like Biollante come back, because that was pretty much a one-hit wonder. No matter how it goes, I think it'll do well. They said there was confirmed more monsters. So I'm really curious to see what they'll do, because we've gotten so many Ghidorahs and so many Mothras. I would love to see a redesign of a kaiju that we really haven't seen.
I agree.
I feel like that would be amazing. And there's so many kaiju that could work. Like Biollante could be perfectly set up in this type of universe. Or pretty much any of the classic kaiju, Anguirus, Gargon. I feel like if they did it right, they could even name King Caesar. I mean, and there's just so much they could do, and I'm open to whatever they have to offer.
Yeah. Lewis, what are your thoughts on the designs?
First, Javante, you have an echo there. All right. Okay, so Godzilla, King of the Monsters. 5 years, guys. 5 years that we are like, when the day comes, when the day comes, it's gonna be incredible because since it's gonna be the day we're gonna finally watch Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I guess it's appropriate to say that us, like me, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's appropriate for me to say right now is that me, Goji Franklin, and Godzilla and Super Godzilla 1974 are all planning to see Godzilla King of the Monsters together. Now that is gonna be a lot of planning and stuff, but I feel like that's just gonna be amazing. Seeing it with my best friends. There goes the echo.
Damn, hold on.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just keep yourself muted for now. But like, it's just gonna be incredible. Like, I can't wait for the day because we're all just gonna be in the theater room watching Godzilla, King of the Monsters on the big screen all together. That's just gonna be incredible to me. But like, besides that the amazing day that will come, Godzilla, King of the Monsters has to be one of the most is probably gonna be the most anticipated movie of all time for like Godzilla at least. But one thing I wish that is not gonna happen is that I hope because now trailers nowadays they tend to show off a lot towards the film's release, and I really don't want them to show like a bunch of stuff because that's why like after this trailer comes out Monday morning or Sunday night or whatever, I plan that's like the only really thing I will watch until the film comes out because I noticed that with like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom they showed a lot of stuff and other movies besides Jurassic World or dinosaur stuff they just show way too much nowadays. Like Godzilla King of the Monsters, the first trailer we saw King Ghidorah and silhouette smoke and crap. That was one big move for the first trailer, to be honest, but that was still cool. But God, King Ghidorah, like I remember the day where me and Goji Franklin and I believe a friend of ours, Gojira the Zilla, we were all on a hangout call, and this is the day like I think after G-Fest when they started releasing like Ghidorah's height and how big he's gonna be. That was one hell of a day because like we were all freaking out. But I feel like Godzilla King of the Monsters is gonna be if it's not gonna be the best Godzilla movie ever, but if it's gonna be one of the best. It's gonna be one of the best. I can tell already. Just the way like I just hope they don't like over promote stuff. Like they just show way too much. That's the only thing I hope not. But yeah, like back to that thing you were saying, Rich, the Muto head. Yeah, that is definitely Muto's head. Well, a theory I have and I've heard about other people is that I feel like they took that Muto head that Godzilla blew off in 2014 and they took it to Antarctica so they can research this like kaiju. They can study it over the years and they put it in ice so it doesn't like decapitate, so the skin doesn't go away and stuff like that. That's what I'm feeling they're gonna do in this movie. They're just gonna keep the Muto head and study it and all that. That's a theory I came up with and I heard other people came up with. But King Ghidorah's design, it kind of reminds me, now that I'm looking at it, I thought of it, but like, I thought of it even before I looked at this comic I have, Godzilla Oblivion. This design on the cover here, it kind of reminds me a lot of that design right there. But it also really reminds me of like what King Ghidorah really is. And like, I'm really excited for the movie. Like, and like, yeah. Like, I can't wait to get that SH Monster. It's Ghidorah. That's gonna be one hell of a shelf. I'm just gonna have its own table for it. Like, it has to have its own table or something. But I feel like King Ghidorah's wing thing, like Javante was saying earlier, I feel like if Ghidorah gets like knocked over by Godzilla, I feel like Ghidorah can like hold himself up with his wings somehow and like kind of like put him over like this in a way, like kind of like balance himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, your thoughts, man?
I got a couple things to say about it. One, just the fact I feel like this is gonna be a great movie because the fact that we get so excited over like the smallest things that they release, It's like what, well, how are you gonna react when they actually drop like something like a picture of a fight scene or whatever? Like, we're
Oh,
gonna go nuts. Like, forget about it. Like, that's just my gut feeling. As far as designs go, when I first saw like a close up of King Ghidorah's face, it reminded me of like like that. It reminded me of Smaug the dragon from The Hobbit. Just the way the
Mhm.
face looked.
Mhm.
Like certain parts of the face kind of reminded me of it, and I was like, that's kind of dope. But still, I mean, it looks amazing. Uh, Godzilla, amazing. I love what they did with revamped it. Uh, Rodan actually kind of reminded me of Final Wars a little bit.
Hmm.
Just like I guess just the way his color was and the way his beak was. Oh, and apparently, like, was he supposed to have like some lava spin off his wings or something like that?
Well, supposedly he's adapted to living in a volcano. So the way his wings look, it looks like his feathers teetering at the edge of his wings.
Yeah.
But his wings also look they look lava-like. And once they showed the SH Monster Arts figure, we really got a good look at what he looks like. It's like, holy crap, he looks like Shin Rodan, because
Yeah.
he got so very, very similar. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
I really like how the volcano aspect was very Showa inspired.
Oh yeah.
That really
yes.
tickled my fancy when I saw it, because Rodan is the film itself from '56 is one of my favorite non-Godzilla films. So seeing little things like the volcano is just like, ooh.
Yeah, right.
Can I interrupt real quick? Can we just watch the trailer right now?
Of course.
Please, yes.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna.
Is it still echoing? If not, I have a solution.
Nope, you're all right now.
No, yeah, you're good.
All right.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah, let's watch it.
the thing with the trailer music, apparently I found out.
Uh-oh, echo.
Oh yeah, echo.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I want to watch this trailer again. You guys got me all thinking about it. And
Let's analyze this trailer.
Oh.
Wait, I got you.
Our world is changing. The mass extinction we feared has already begun, and we are the cause. We are the infection.
I'm sure all that smoke will be better in the movie.
But like all living organisms, the earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans. For thousands of years, these creatures have remained in hiding around the world.
Goosebumps!
And unless all the Titans are found, our planet will perish, and so will we. They are the only guarantee that life will carry on.
There it is.
Oh, I forgot about the eyes.
Oh my, the eyes glow. Ah!
That's beautiful.
Sorry,
So beautiful.
this is the only way. I'm sorry.
Oh. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Big fella.
Long live the king.
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh, forget it.
Oh man.
Something I really like what they did with just marketing it and everything as a sequel is the first film had so much emphasis on the color red, it almost made me hate it.
Right.
But this is all blue.
Mhm.
And each monster having their own kind of theme, you know, when
Yeah,
showing.
Yeah.
like their own thing. Yeah.
Godzilla's is like blue, and then Rodan's is red. Ghidorah is yellow and black, I would say, because
Yeah,
of
yellow and gray.
And then Mothra she's got blue and
She's
yellow.
she's chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got blue and correct me if I'm wrong. Towards the end of the trailer, that light in the sky that was
Yeah,
sparkling, that's Mothra, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mothra. Yeah,
That's
you can
Mothra.
see her.
Yeah,
You can see her
yeah.
wings. You can see her wings.
Just
I mean, I heard it with the trailer music that that is like that music was played before in Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I heard it back to back, and I found
Yeah.
that actually like really cool. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with all this King of the Monsters hype and stuff, I find myself forgetting every single day that we are literally getting a Kong versus Godzilla movie in our life.
Forget about that.
Yes.
To even
Hey, real quick, but you can't forget about the Godzilla, the third anime movie. I forgot what it was called.
Oh,
you know,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're done.
Wait. I didn't even knew.
bad.
Oh.
hey, in that skit you showed us earlier, Rich, I saw a few bananas in there. How did you get the hold of the X Plus anime Ghidorah?
All right.
Like, how did you get a hold of that, man? Like, come on. Oh, he's gonna get it for us. Oh boy.
That man
Yeah.
said it's the Bandai Movie Monster Series banana. I'm asleep.
Oh,
I just think it's
goodness.
absolutely hysterical that
So when
my lad.
Marvel went to the Bandai factory and they said, oh, we want you to. They went to the sculptors like, we want you to sculpt King Ghidorah. So the Bandai guy that does the sculpting, he's like, well, what does it look like? Toho execs pulled out this. He's like, this is the inspiration of the anime King Ghidorah.
Damn. Look at the detail.
Inspiration.
Wow.
I'm checking.
See the green paint job? Wow.
Oh man, that
You know, as bad as the anime Godzilla trilogy has been, / what the designs are like, I still have to respect. I have no idea what his name is, and quite frank, I don't really care. But I have to respect that the creator has openly stated that he welcomes the hate because it means that he was able to do something original and different.
Yeah.
So, you know, hats off to that. At least he tried. E for effort.
Which is not bad, but I never liked it, and I don't think I'm ever gonna like it.
It's just you can't win. You can't win.
It's hard to watch. I'm gonna be honest. It's hard to watch for
I
me.
honestly have mixed feelings about it. It's just part of me that likes it because it's different and I like different, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, this is boring.
When it first came out and I watched it, and I was sitting there with my girlfriend because she wanted to watch it with me too, and I was like, you know, that gets me kind of hyped. We're getting new Godzilla stuff. You know, that wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, you know, god tier either. And then as soon as I look at my phone, I just see people talking about how they want this film to die, and I'm like, I think they hate it on purpose for attention. Like, yes, the films aren't great, but honestly, they could be a lot worse.
I'll give them a solid D minus.
They get a C. It's just average, like whatever. They exist. I acknowledge them, but like, I don't find myself going out of my way to look into it. Like, I'm into the Bandai figures. I want to get the banana. I almost bought it at. I actually got to hold one because we went to this Louisville Comic Con. My girlfriend and I recently, and this dude had like a ton of Godzilla stuff. It was crazy, and he looks at me like he wanted me to see this, and he was like, "You know what I just got in, kid?"
Yeah, it says a little.
Give it to me.
Once he says that, that's when you walk away.
I'm looking at it and like, it's literally a banana. Like, it's not even a joke. It's just
huge.
So dumb.
I'm allergic to bananas too, by the way. So I'm
Louis, because you came up with that, you got to make a video if you haven't done it already.
Hey,
with bananas.
Yeah, dude, I did, but I just haven't had the time to edit it. I did a video like that like a few weeks ago, dude, already, and like I just haven't had time. I'll probably edit it tonight after the stream, to be honest.
You got me thinking. I'm going to put this on my table. Like, bam! What's doing, guys? Today we're looking at the new
Yeah.
King Ghidorah.
Dude, because that's crazy because when I woke up, like, you know, getting ready for school, and then after I get ready for school, I go on my phone and check Instagram and stuff. I see this picture of this Bandai anime Ghidorah, and I'm like, what? The first thing that came up to my mind, my eyes pictured a banana. I was like, what? A pack of bananas? Like, what's going on here? So and then I look at it closely, I'm like, that's Ghidorah from Monster Planet? Oh, boy.
I don't consider that a thing.
Instagram or maybe Twitter. They actually, it was a Japanese collector. They repainted that figure to look better, and
Yes.
did a good job of making it, the paint job look better. You know, it gave it a little bit more depth. It was more highlights, more shadows. So I was like, it's still like, no thanks.
I was gonna watch the films and get the Bandai figures. I skipped the X Plus anime Godzilla. He's cool, but like, I just wanted to get the Bandai figures and be done with it. And you know, Bandai really, really upset me when they came out with Mechagodzilla, just because I'm such a Mechagodzilla fanboy.
Oh.
And like, okay, the Ghidorah is a regular figure that you can get for dirt cheap. The Godzillas are normal. But then Bandai releases that, and it's like a premium figure, and I was seeing it go for like $50+, and I absolutely refuse to spend that much money on this series.
And he wasn't even in the movie.
I saw it. I saw it in person. Like, wow, that looks good. And I asked, and the guy wanted $90 for it. I said, no, not at all.
Yeah, no.
No, thank you.
So that really put a bad taste in my mouth, and now I don't even know if I want to finish it. Like, they just got to stop. They just need to stop.
Yeah,
I mean, the new movie coming out. What is that? January, I guess, right?
On Netflix.
So I'll give it a go. I mean, my opinion on the films. I watched the first two. The first time I watched the second one, I fell asleep through it, and it took me maybe 2 months to actually go back and watch it. But it seems like the first two films are nearly identical in the pacing. Like, they both start off with a problem, and the guy, he bitches about how we're going to take back the planet. We got to take back Earth. We got to take back Earth. Blah 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 blah. They blah 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 about the plan. And by the time we get to the third and final act, and they start executing all the shit that they've been blabbing about, it's actually the end of the movie. Both movies are pretty cool, I will admit.
Yeah, they are.
Just dragged, just getting there. And it's like, ugh. You know,
I think my main criticism when I was first watching it, and something that I actually hate, is just the bland and stereotypical, I want revenge type character. Like, it was just so dumb, and
yeah, I just don't like it.
They could have done it better, but like, they didn't.
It wasn't executed as well as I thought they were gonna do.
The only good revenge character anymore was like maybe the characters in Attack on Titan. If you want something better, just go watch that. Like, they're carbon copies. They're all bad.
I think when it first came out, we were all really kind of excited because I remember as soon as I got done watching it, I got to hang out with Javante and Joey here, and we all started like, hey, this movie was actually pretty cool. Like, it was all right. Like, the first one was all right, but then the sequel came on, and then I feel like the third one, I don't know. Like, I'm not really that excited for it, but since we're kind of talking about anime stuff, that Ultraman Netflix thing going on, interesting.
Bro, you know you don't know nothing about no Ultraman.
I know, that's why I'm just talking about it. Like, I do not care about Ultraman. Like, it was cool seeing that.
Imagine
gotta get into it. I love Ultraman.
Now, see, this is where David would come into play, because David is big Ultraman fan. You know, you got questions about Ultraman, he's the man to ask.
I love it.
Ultraman's great.
Let's go back to that King of the Monsters. Hold on.
I've actually been not a huge, ginormous Ultraman fan, but I liked Ultraman all the way up until like Mebius. And then when all the new stuff started coming out and they were getting all crazy and like transforming, and I just stopped. I
just dig the 66 series.
Yeah.
By the way.
I just watched them all just because
classic.
they're all remotely the same. It's just 66 with a different man, basically.
It's not like it's not that I don't like them or whatever. Like, I remember when I was little, I started watching like Red King and stuff like that, like with Ultraman and all that, and G-Ras. But it's not like that I don't like them or whatever. It's just that I never really care to watch them. I guess I could try that one day and start watching like all the movies and stuff. But
You're
for
just
now,
you're
I'm
just
yeah,
a loser.
yeah, basically.
I mean,
I like
Nick,
it all.
literally, when I come back to your house, I have the full series. I will give it to you. Just watch.
Oh, I mean that. I guess I can just give you that Glitter Godzilla too then.
Can you please give it to me? It's mine. Actually, he has two.
Yeah, I do have two.
Yeah, you do have to.
Rich, would you like to see the two?
What glitter gods we talking about? The Forever series?
Yeah, the Forever series, dude.
The one with the glitter on it.
Yeah, he's got mine.
Yeah, dude. Hey, because all right,
Mine. I'm not joking. I have one.
yeah, let's tell the story here, I guess. So one day I was in technology class, doing my own thing, doing computer stuff, and I get a text from Mr. Joey Wallace here. He's like, Lewis, crying like a little baby, and I'm like, what? What do you want? I'm in class, and he calls me, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. He's like, Lewis. He said, he sends me a screenshot before we call of this glitter Godzilla on eBay for how much, Rich? How much? $200. Now I thought that was I was like, whoa! I wish I got that like at G Fest or whatever. But $200, and this guy Joey here is like, Lewis, please buy me this, crying like a little baby, and I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you. So then like,
when you put it like that, you make it sound like I was begging for money.
No,
That's not what happened.
No.
I love when you guys shit
Here.
on each other. It's hilarious.
No,
All right, Joey, go.
no, because I mean, for people that watch us, they know about the whole Glitter Godzilla fiasco at G Fest, where Lewis absolutely ruined my weekend and completely.
Oh my god!
I don't like talking. I get heated. I will get heated. And he pretty much he gave me the middle finger that weekend. And I saw on eBay, and I remembered Lewis like 2 nights prior. He was like on Google Hangouts, like, yeah, I got all this money, like bragging to us. Like, and I'm scrolling through eBay because you check the newly listed just to see what kind of deals come up. And my good friend of mine, Sean, I don't know if he's still here, probably not. He sent me a screenshot because we were doing it at the same time, and he was like, "Hey, there's a Glitter Godzilla on eBay tagged mint condition for $200 right now. You want to buy it?" And I was like, "That's fake," but no, it was a real link. And I'm a big boy with bills, and like those are way more important than toys. But $200, I would actually, that would be inhumane to not buy it. So I was like, remember when Lewis not only screwed me over big time, but he also had spare cash, and I was like, I'll literally just pay him back. I was like, Lewis, you want to redeem yourself, buddy? Help me out, please. And yeah, it's still in Wisconsin. We're still.
Yes.
So you got it for basically $200.
I got it for $200, and he got it for $450, which I still think is a decent deal on that.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
But a 200 is better. Like
200.
That wasn't the one at Clawmark though, right?
No, the one at Clawmark. I felt like such a bad person because I was talking to David, and he gave me like a shot of his sake, and we're hitting it up, and I'm like, David, save me that Glitter Godzilla because I'm instantly buying it. Like that's what's happening. And we get there, and I wasn't planning to go like over 500 because like I'll spend stupid dollars on something, but I'm not a complete moron. And I don't mean this in a rude way to Diane because like her stuff is special to her and like that's her price.
Yeah.
I respect that. And I get there, I'm like, David, give me that. And he's holding it for me, and he brings it out, and they're like, I think they said it was either 700 or 800, and they're like $700. And I was like, ooh. Now, if you saw not trying to brag or anything, but if you saw my video, I brought a lot of money. Like my video is titled the $4,000 G-Fest haul, but I still could not see myself spending nearly $1,000 on this figure. I didn't have the heart to say it because I'm not a bad person. I didn't want to be like rude, but you could get one on eBay for $600. It's still on eBay, and I was not about to overpay just to have it. And I was like, you can't do that. I'm not doing it, man. Tried talking her down, and she wouldn't budge, and that's how that happened. And then Lewis completely ruined my weekend. I don't know if we can talk about that here, but
That was happening. That was happening while you were talking him down too. I was trying to get that roast.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No, in a nutshell, I can say this real quick. The plan was that I go to Hallmark and he goes straight to monstrosities. Now, this is a key part of the story, kids. He told me in Wisconsin, I sat in this man's room and looked him in the face, and he told me, I do not care about the tag. I just want the figure. I'm like, okay, Lewis. We get there. He goes straight to monstrosities. I have my little catastrophe with Diane over there. He runs up to me and goes, "Oh, I got it." And I'm like, "Oh, really, Lewis? You got it? Good job." He goes, "Yeah, I paid like $420 for it. Oh, and I also got it with tag." And that hit me in the chest because monstrosities confirmed that he only had some untagged. He did not have a tagged one. And I guess that coincidentally that morning he got one with tagged and put it up for sale, and Lewis went and bought it. Now here's where Lewis really screwed me over.
Oh my god.
He gets one with tag, and I'm like, "Look, Lewis, I ain't gonna lie to you, Chief. I'm not paying $700 for this toy. Here's the deal. Let me buy yours. I can't remember if it was $450 or $500. I offered you more money for it.
It was 500.
It was 520.
500 benefits, 500 smackaroos. And I said, you take that extra money and you get the untagged one. That's like $100 less. And you'd be walking away with $200 profit, and we would both get the toy. This man looks me in my eyes and says, no. I was so upset mentally and physically.
I saw this live too, so it made it that much more funnier.
I can't do it. Sorry. And I was like, didn't you say you didn't care about the tag? And then he goes, I didn't, but now I do. I'm like,
Right? I was in the moment, man. You can't just do that.
In the moment,
It was in the moment.
but then like 5 seconds later, I got a 30 centimeter Varen, and that kind of set me straight.
Yeah.
But he's still absolute. I hate that. I hate that happened, and I don't like talking about it.
I guess we could just do a live unboxing.
It was quite the embarrassment, I gotta say. But like, you can't win them all. It happens to the best of us.
While you're unboxing that, I won't say 500 is not bad. That's what I paid for my glitter Godzilla with tag back in 2004. I got mine. So 500 is not bad. 200 great. Look at that.
Yeah, $200. I absolutely refused to pass that up. I had to get it somehow.
So this is yours that he's holding here.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah,
mine.
this is his.
Nice.
Watch you screw up. You can go over and send it to the wrong address.
Oh, please, God.
Hey, Javante, literally, when I first joined the call and showed this off to Joey, he was like, please don't switch them, Lewis, just because one has more
I
glitter.
really thought this man, I could see him just pulling it out and seeing that mine has like more glitter or something and just switching it.
Nah, mine's literally right there. Look.
Yeah, this man has two in his house.
It's crazy.
Eventually it'll get here.
Yeah, I'll get here, once you kind of pay me the money.
Yeah, pay up. So, hey, you know what you got to do? Start charging them in.
First.
And they see, that makes me the bad guy, but how many times have I asked you for a PayPal? Please tell me how many times
I sent it to you. You didn't. I DM'd it to you.
Where?
What is DM? Instagram, buddy.
Please show me the PayPal.
Oh my god.
No, I've asked like 3 times, and he'll be like, pay me, dude. I'm like, okay, give me your
All right.
Oh my god.
I want to open it up to questions to the people that are still watching. So anybody out there that's watching that has a question, now is the time to do it. Make the question relatable to all of us here. We'll go through the ranks.
Someone just asked where my haunted Rodan figure was.
Where?
I actually bought a Forever Series Rodan off of Michael, Vampire Robots. And during a stream I had, he brought up that he bought it from like some dead man's collection and that it was haunted. So It's over there on the top shelf. Thankfully, we haven't had any incidents yet, but that was kind of a funny little throwback.
Nice. All right.
Is Bandai vintage? Depends.
Vintage. You all right? Yes, Bandai. Some Bandai should be considered vintage, I guess, from the 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
About 84. The 4 Godzilla, the Ghidorah. So yeah, I don't know how you look at it. Kaijuzilla 621. Yes, I have Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PlayStation 4.
I heard that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's a fun game. Let's see. What do you expect after Legendary's license is up? So, from my understanding, after Legendary license is up, that they've been talking about doing their own Kaiju Monsterverse or something, right? Is that the rumor mill?
Mhm.
So I guess that's going to happen. What's our holy grail? Eric, let's go. Eric, what is up, yo? So Eric wants to know what our holy.
Ooh.
Joey, go first.
I have a lot of specific grails. The Glitter Godzillas, I think, is everyone in this community's grail. So, like, that's checked off the bucket list. Something I've had a real difficult time obtaining is a 25 centimeter King Caesar. Don't. I'm gonna do it to him. This man Chris has 2 of them. He has a Rick and a standard, and he has yet to sell me his standard.
Who has the standard and Rick? Lewis?
Chris.
No, I have.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that.
Rick's sitting right there looking at me. I can see it. It's one of my favorite kaiju designs from one of my favorite films.
Don't like me. I have to look like the bad guy.
Yeah, it's cool, but
no, dude, trust me. It will happen. It will happen.
Yeah, and then like Diamond reissued it, and for a figure like that, I wanted the original so badly. But Diamond, I'm like, well, I gotta get it, and then they canceled it. They thought that would be funny.
Yeah, and I remember that day when I told you I had the other one in the box,
and I freaked.
You freaking out.
And
I remember when it was canceled.
Encounter trying to purchase one. I don't mean any disrespect on anyone's name, but I was trying. This man had a Rick King Caesar up for sale, and this man wanted $800 for it. And look, I said, "Look, Chief, that ain't it at all."
That ain't it.
Yeah. Like, I was committed, but he was like, "Let me think about it." And I said, "Great, I'm open to whatever your price is." $800. I was like,
No.
What do you want? A car?
I would have ripped that person apart. Yeah, no, nay.
No. So it's been troublesome, but we'll get around to it.
Yeah.
We will get around to it.
Louis, your holy grail.
I was gonna say Joey always has one of these. I mean, he always loves. He loves his King Caesar. So. One figure, yeah, I would say the Glitter Godzilla, but like, I really like this X Plus 30 centimeter 54 with the train. X Plus 30 centimeter.
Awesome.
I recently. Excuse me.
I said, is there a grail that you have yet to purchase?
Huh.
That's kind of the question.
Well, like, there's a lot of things we want, right? And I really want that giant Bandai Premium Godzilla 94. I've always wanted that as a kid, and I think I will never get it. But hey, I mean, one day I might pull that $500 or $600 at GFS and say, "Hey, I'm getting this bad boy."
Don't buy it.
I know, but like, I'm just saying, dude. Stop ruining my moment. So like that figure I've always wanted as a kid, and I would see that figure in like every image. If you search up Godzilla toys, you would see like a giant Bandai Premium Godzilla 94 somewhere. That's one grail I really want that I'll probably never get, but hey, one can only dream,
That hard to get. the dude at G Fest has both of them, and yeah, they're complete. But I think it was either $1,500 or $2,000, and like again, Chief, that's not it. That's a lot of money. But I know there's a few floating around on eBay for anywhere from $400 to $600. I considered getting one time, but I don't know. I'd rather see it in person and inspect it and make sure it's like
Yeah.
for any figure over like $200 for me, it's got to be pristine, or as pristine as I can get it.
Yeah, mint. Gotta be mint.
Mhm.
Javante, what is your holy grail?
In my collection right now, I think I have like 3. It's probably the 4. 30 centimeter Final Wars, the 30 centimeter Space Godzilla, the Marmot Final Wars Godzilla, and the Bandai Orochi. As far as what I don't own that I really want to get, they're both Marmot figures. Joey and Lewis know what these are. The Marmot Final Wars Manda.
Yeah.
Marmot
Yummy.
Space Godzilla. Yeah, those 2.
What about that Marmon 89?
Oh,
Funny,
I
you
want
make
that
jokes.
Marmot 89 too. And as far as X Plus goes, something that I don't have that I really want, I want the Gigantic Series 64.
X Plus.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I remember when I went for gold and tried to win that at G Fest and didn't win.
I remember that too.
There's quite a few of them there.
Yeah, 64 is my second favorite Toho. It's my second favorite Showa suit after the 74 suit. Yeah.
Nice. Chris, what about you? What is something that you consider a holy grail that you have not obtained, or maybe?
Well, I haven't. Both my Bullmark figures that I bought at G Fest, my Godzilla and my King Ghidorah, which is in excellent shape, and they're both in great condition. And just to have like a piece, it's essentially a piece of history that you have. It's like more than 20 years like ago. Like one of these were the 60s, right?
Late 60s, yeah.
Late 60s, yeah. I mean that's crazy. And
I'm
another
slowly-
one is my Marmot Godzilla 1967 signed by Nakajima, who unfortunately passed.
Is that the flat mat like the one I have, or is that the? Put it on the screen. I can't see nothing but his ass.
I hate to
it's
steal your opinion, but I honestly agree and think that's probably the best 67.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
real quick, I forgot about one that I have, the M1 Nakajima suit figure that I got from G-Fest this year. I have that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one too. Yeah. I know.
Is that the
And I
green
can't.
leg?
What happened?
Is that do you guys have the one with the green legs?
No. I got the Urasawa one.
Yeah,
Right?
Chris
Is that what
has
it's called?
that one. I have the green leg one.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, but another one that Joey, I know Joey has it. I forgot if Lewis has it, but the Kawakita.
Lewis doesn't have the
figure.
I
Kawakita.
do not have that. I do not.
Now
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
don't
get
have-
mine.
Yeah.
Andy is the
Yeah.
one who has the Kawakita.
Yeah,
I know,
Andy is
yeah.
the one.
Yeah, but this is awesome. And I forgot how much they were selling it for, but it was like
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
right.
was she brought these to the convention and we're selling them for $150. And like I'm not even I thought I was dreaming because
yeah.
I know I can't Sean at Showcase. He has one for 500.
Yeah,
Cuomo
I remember,
800. It's like they're so
Yeah.
limited
Yeah.
and so scarce, and they're so expensive. And when I'm walking past it, and I'm like, "Why does that tag say 150?"
Yeah, because
I
I
look
remember
up and it's-
I remember you were buying it, and you were like, "Nah, dude, do it." I was like, "Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I want to save my money." And then you, I didn't know what it was, and you explained it to me. I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
It's like, yeah, it's Bandai, but there's so much that was going on, plus the significance of this figure. Not only is it just like an important figure in itself, but the man's daughter was selling it. Like, I
Yeah.
had to.
Like that's something else.
Protector fell off, but it's just such a great piece and such a rare one. And honestly, The first thing I'm doing when I get that glitter Godzilla, I want to get a picture of these both together.
That'll be nice.
Absolutely love it. And then I did get mine autographed by Megumi and Satsuma. So
Yep, I remember that.
special. I forgot to put this on Grail list. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Right.
Nah, yeah, but just to top off my Grail list, it's I got it when it was released with the Wonderfest. It was released as a Wonderfest set with Gigan. It was the Megalon.
Nice. All right.
That Wonderfest.
Let's see.
Rich, I understand that you didn't just now, but you're digging into vintage. You've got a lot of Popey. You're digging deeper. So I'm interested to hear that if you have any more grails. I don't know if you have a Jumbosaurus yet, but I don't know. Are you interested in one of those?
I am. Vintage is something that I've dabbled in slowly because it's an area that I don't really know all that much about. I'm learning as I go. My first couple vintage pieces were it was Gigan and Baragon from the Popey line. I bought those two pieces at GFest 2013. Then I snagged Rodan from Popey from Mike Johnson a couple months later. So then I was kind of just on the hunt for the last three of that line. Was King Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Mecha Godzilla. So I looked every now and then. Not for nothing, when X Plus is dropping figures like they do, it to me, like, I can't really venture out and spend anything else unless X Plus is just taking a little bit of a break, which happens sometimes. But it wasn't until 2015 when we were in Japan, walked into Mandarake in Osaka, and I saw the three that I needed: the Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Mecha Godzilla. I'm looking at them right now in the detail. And I was like, yes! I'm like, the three I need in the same place together, and for great prices. Godzilla was $100. Ghidorah and Mecha Godzilla were $40 a piece. I'm like, mind blown. Like, they're in great condition. And now that I'm looking at the Popey, he kind of looks similar to the Bandai figure for the Planet Eater Ghidorah. But anyway, so those are my group of vintage. I did pick up a Bullmark Godzilla, which was originally by Marusan, I believe.
Yeah.
The one that Chris that you picked up, I picked that up at Fest 2017, I believe. From Showcase Daikaiju, and then the year before, I picked up the larger Popey. It's not the Jumbosaurs. David has that. He picked that up.
Yeah.
And he got that for a great price. I mean, that figure, to get it like at mid condition, it's going to be a little pricey. But so I have those the six small Popeys, the large Popey Godzilla, and the Bullmark. Those are my vintage pieces. I would like to get more, but it will be, I will take my time. I will ask the right questions. This is why at Fresh Vinyl Live this year at G-Fest, I pulled Mike Russo up, and because he is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to vintage. Him, Greg Codaro, James Bond, Mike Johnson, those guys, Sean Linkenback, those guys are people that I kind of looked up to. I did look up to, as the guys who learned the ropes, before I did. So they know their shit. I'm learned from them, and that's why I just backtracking why I try to do what I do with X Plus. So with vintage, I will continue down that path when the right figure presents itself. I guess if there was anything on my vintage list, it would be the large-scale Bullmark King Ghidorah, large-scale Bullmark Baragon, and Eurus. I love them all, honestly, but there's so many variants. There's many reissues, like which one is the original by a repro, not a reissue, but I guess a reissue, but I want to buy an original piece. Something that I've learned to determine which are legit pieces is the smell of the vinyl is definitely on the vintage pieces is different. Their vinyl's harder. The paint job will be worn. Sometimes you'll find writing on the bottom of the feet because that's what kids in Japan did back in the 60s and 70s when they had their figures. They wrote their names on the bottom. So I
hope I find one like that. That's something that I've actually, ever since you brought that up, it was like I didn't know that I wanted one that badly until you said it.
Me
I
too.
think that'd be something really cool to have. Like this was once a kid's toy, 30
Yeah.
years ago, and
There-
now
There's
it's
actually something that I wanted to bring up. Sorry to cut you off, but the Shogun Warriors 1964. I actually really want that.
that reissue or whatever that was. Yeah, that wasn't.
Fun little story is that Godzilla bought a Bandai Little Godzilla a few years ago when him and I and Javante started talking. And it actually has a kid's name under the foot. So that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
since you brought that up, Rich, it was once a kid's toy. It's you too, Joey.
Yep.
Godzilla does have a figure like that, so that's cool to know, I guess.
In 2014, while working in the dealer's room, now I had already started YouTube and all that stuff. I had a couple kids come up to me and they asked me to sign their figure. Now, I was blown away just the thought of that, somebody asking me for an autograph. It's like it's not about that for me. But I was more like blown away. Like, you want me to sign the figure? I'm gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
Later, years down the road, some kid's gonna have my gibberish on the bottom of a tail. So it's pretty cool.
Really?
The thing about, like, none of my vintage pieces have any writing on the bottom of them, and I'm kind of bummed about that because, like,
Yeah, me too.
It's
Nothing on my boom.
from someplace else before I existed. It was in somebody else's possession. Somebody else enjoyed Godzilla in the 60s and 70s, and it's just awesome just thinking about that. And to have a piece of that in, that to pass on that enjoyment, that history, awesome stuff.
Rich, now that you bring that up, actually, you signed my M1 Titanosaurus.
I did.
Yeah, I think it was Defense 2017. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Craziness. I don't know. That stuff still baffles me. I mean,
I really want to get more, like, not crazy heavy into vintage, but the Popey line is something that's really intrigued me. And I didn't know all about it, but I knew most of the information about Popey and some vintage stuff that you guys talked about at your panel, or whichever one of them that was.
Yeah.
And right afterwards, I walked out, and I knew about Popey. I knew the information about Popey, but hearing other people talk about it and more pictures made me want them. And I was walking in the dealer's room, and I didn't find an original, but I did get the Slash repro of the Ghidra, and that kind of made me just want to get the rest. Really hunting for the Gigan right now. When I get some extra funds, that would probably be my next one, just to have it go with them.
Yeah, Pokeys are relatively easy to obtain. They're not that much money, and you can't. I mean, they're great figures. I love them. They're like the defo reels of vintage pieces. I guess, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually something I want to start collecting is definitely real.
Yeah, me too. Especially that Godzilla 98, though. Like,
shut up, man.
Yummy.
Shut up.
No.
That, like, say what you want about it, but it looks good.
It does.
Yeah, I got the standard too.
I'm just angry that that's the only one he wants.
I actually hate that film with a burning passion, but the figure Nick looks good. Like, I can't knock him on it.
Yep.
Burning passion.
Yeah, that 84.
It is 10 o'clock. We have reached our time limit. Only I like to keep it at 2 hours. We are going to call it a wrap here. I would like to thank you guys for coming on for this episode of Fresh Vinyl Live. It's been like well over a year in the making of trying to do this with you guys. Mainly, again, like I said, I like to give back to the community. You guys are up and coming, or you guys are the next generation coming up behind us, and eventually, at some point, you guys are going to be inspiring the next group of fans that are coming up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is incredible to think about, to be honest.
I know. Yeah,
it is. It's. I can tell you right now from just doing what I do it because I like doing it, it's fun and passionate about it. It is. I try to find the right word. Gratifying, I guess. I don't know. I'm happy to do it because we all share the same stuff, the same enjoyment with it, and that makes it that much better. And you'll see what I mean along with stay in the hobby. But that is a wrap. We will be doing another Fresh Vinyl Live, probably maybe 2 weeks or so. I'd like to do another one, get get the regular crew back on. We're gonna do like a 2018 wrap up the year as far as all the X Plus stuff that's come out and things that are coming. And the X Plus group, we're gonna do a couple different polls to get to the figure of the year for the X Plus stuff because there's just so much shit to
gigantic series Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
65.
God.
Yep.
25
Yep.
centimeters, 65.
But anyway, gentlemen,
Thanks for having us on.
thank you.
Yeah,
for
thanks.
coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Rich.
Oh yeah, Rich.
And remember, people, everybody else watching, thank you for watching. Bye, Vinyl. Fresh Vinyl. I will see you on the next episode of Fresh Vinyl Live. Bam.